a bad snap, any way to help a deep snapper learn to have a short memory, such as when a quarterback gets burned by a wide receiver, so that one bad snap does not turn into a second one. I told you guys last week what show to watch. Ted Lasso. Okay, phenomenal on Apple Plus. Hopefully you've all seen it. If you haven't, you need to. It's about American football coach moving across the pond, coaching a soccer premier league, and all that good stuff. Anyway, he says, Ben, I'm going to call on you because you're focused right now with your glasses. Do you remember what animal's the happiest?
It's a goldfish because they have a life, like their memory is like 10 seconds.
Perfect. Very good memory. There you go. Okay. So yeah, basically the coach says, it'd be like a goldfish. They're the happiest in the world because they only have a 10-second memory. And Doc, I remember, because I actually talked to my wife and kids about this, how you said, and I'm going to screw this up, but if you have like a bad snap, you can immediately adjust your mind where you're like, and then that just flips it to like, no, you're not an idiot. You actually did well.
Last week we were talking about this, basically that you can, okay, if you obviously do a bad snap, let's say halftime comes, and thankfully you've got a coach that come over and you clear it up psychologically, and they say, hey, look, don't worry about it. We know in practice 99 times out of 100 you're fantastic. You'll go out and you'll do the same wonderful thing in the second half, and you feel differently now because of it. Okay, that's essentially a way of providing therapy for somebody essentially in the moment. You know, a lot of talk therapies, for example, are based off counseling, things like that. But obviously, if you're in the game for a moment, you don't have that luxury of being able to go over to a coach or just get those things, that those people that can kind of reiterate how good you are for you to forget about it. But even if you had, I mean, visually it can be extremely traumatizing if something went really, really bad. And you said, Chris, last week with regard to some guy that snapped and it just went all over the place. He kept chucking the ball and it was like all over the place. So if you have a nightmare, if you're having that nightmare, you have to stop. When is, like, stopping in a game and being able to do it momentarily. If you can do it momentarily in a game, you can certainly do it after the game, before next week's game. You have loads of time. You have 7 days to get your head around things, to go back and practice. So what do we do usually between game to game, week to week? We usually just, get out there and just start practicing again, just for 5 minutes, just to get it out of your head. Because that's it. You get it out of your head when you do the same actions that you know are positive, that you know when there's nobody looking, that you can do, that you've done since you were 10 years of age or whatever. Even the top pros will do that. If they have a bad game. But in the game, you don't have that luxury. You can't talk to a coach. So you need to realize, and this is the most important part of it, and I didn't say it last week really, is that you can actually change how your brain feels through your thoughts momentarily. So you can actually, if we think something, we can actually change how our whole body will react to the very next or similar experience, such as when you have to step up and do that snap. So rather than starting thinking about, oh God, 5 minutes ago, I did this and the ball went there and the whole game disrupted, there was a touchdown and so on. That's the moment when most people think, I wish the ground would just open up and swallow me kind of moment. But you can turn that into the most advantageous thing, because here's the thing. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody in the world makes mistakes. The top players make mistakes. But it's how you react to the mistakes. And especially at you guys at your age, this is what recruiters, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Chris, but this is what these guys will be looking at.